This is my take on the It Gets Better campaign. In my opinion, it does not get better. I'm at the point now where I am semi-retired. I've went through my life, and in evaluation, I don't consider the society and the practices in the United States to have gotten better for gays. For me, it hasn't been that way. In the 1960s and 70s, homosexuality was considered a disorder, and people were pretty much put on the disability system, and they're taken out of society. And that's what led to a lot of the protests and everything to try and get that change. And slowly people did go into some type of workforce, but not much. By the 80s, there was very little entry, and it was pretty much industry specific. Also, the 80s led to the AIDS epidemic, and again, people that were not going into the disability system were now put back into the disability system because they had to be, because of it necessitated treatment for the AIDS syndrome. Which, once again, there was a lot of bias and propaganda throughout the 80s and 90s. There was rabid disdain for gays, and it was all geared towards unhealthy and everything. And slowly, very slowly, things changed. People started going into the workforce. The thinking changed, very slightly. But then the legislation started to change that put the emphasis on propping up the churches. And the churches are very instrumental in how the perception of gays are, and the Catholic Church has a lot to do with this, and a lot of it is due to the fact that it has a clergy shortage. So a lot of the pressure that it puts on is because it needs people into its pulpits, and by some estimates, up to 85% of people in its pulpits are gays. Now, me personally, I don't believe in God. I haven't for a very long time. Two, I don't think that that's what their solution is. They're too resilient to change, and I think that's a big part of their problem. I also think they're putting the wrong people into the pulpits, and that's what caused a lot of their problems with the pedophilia scandal, and they're trying to put that behind them. And in doing so, they're trying to do the exact same thing. This is all my opinion, but these factors weigh into on what's happening with gays in the society. I should not have been put into the disability system, and more gays are going back into the disability system, and it's unsubstantiated. I've attempted to get the records to try and substantiate what's gone on, to review what my allegations are, and it's been for naught. The government is complicit. It was complicit during the pedophilia scandal, and society at large was complicit during these scandals. It's just beyond me that no one is learning from these examples. My recommendation is for anyone who is young or middle-aged that is gay in this country, leave. Plain and simple. There are better countries out there. They're more welcoming. They're more hospitable towards gays. They don't have the baggage this country has. And a lot of our churches are still very inhospitable towards gays. a lot of people say that, like it's rash, and, like, I disagree. The gays that are in the clique and that are part of the, like, group have a different, like, acceptance. But a lot of people, especially for, like, people that have, like, religious families, it's inhospitable, and it does not get better. You know, like, my life has been led, and it was wasted. I haven't reached any goals. All of, like, my years have gone by, and it's been to benefit elders. It hasn't been for me to benefit any of, like, the things I wanted to see, to reach the goals I wanted to reach, to, like, see the things I wanted to see. As I said, I'm retired now, and looking back, yeah, I was thrown under the bus, and I wouldn't want anyone else to go through it. So again, if you're young, middle-aged, gay, and you're not, like, well connected into the group, and, like, your family is anyways, like, inhospitable towards gays, leave. There's better countries out there, and you're going to be a lot more happy.